Hello. Now, weeding is one of the biggest pains in a gardener's rear end, and at this time of year, if you're anything like me, you'll have no lack of them. Now, a weed can be any plant that's in the wrong location, where you don't want it. And I have a plethora, I have a cornucopia of weeds, and it's not good, that, because I'm going to get a letter. I'll end up getting a letter from the committee about it, because it's shocking the state of the place at the moment. Again, it's finding the time, but today is the day for a mass pogrom on the weeds. I'm going to set aside 6 hours to get rid of these weeds. It's 11 o'clock now, and by 5 o'clock PM, I want this plot to be relatively weed-free, if not totally weed-free. But it's going to take a heck of a lot of work, that. So we'll take it in bite-sized chunks. We'll do it bed by bed and then the surroundings of the bed. I think that's the best bet. But the sense of satisfaction if I can complete this today will be immense. There's a lot of crap I've got to shift as well, so the tip is open till late on this evening. I think it's open till about 7 o'clock tonight. So once I've done the weed, and I'm going to load the car up, drop the back seats and try and get everything as much as I possibly can inside there. So yeah, that's today's monumental effort. Wish me luck, fingers crossed, and I'll catch you in a bit. That's a dent de lion, a dandelion. Tooth of the lion, named after the leaf shape. Lion's tooth. A prolific weed. Bit of a famine food, actually. You can eat the leaves off that. You can actually make stuff out of the flowering buds as well. But I despise the look of it and the very essence of it. Same with these ones here. I'm not 100% sure what they're called, but they're all over the bloody shop. Answers in the comments below if you know what this is. But it's got to go. So I'm going to start off in a relatively easy bed like this one. So where I've got crops growing, I've got the garlic and the onions in here. I'm going to free all of that up, get all these out of the way first, and that's going to be my first bed. Then I'm going to move on to that one, that one, that one, and work my way up the plot. I'm fancying it's going to take about 2.5 hours on that side, and probably about 3 hours on this side to clear it all. I'm going to be doing it with the aid of buckets. These, well, perhaps not that one, maybe that one. Tip the dead worms and water out from the, and gather me weeds in there. So I'm doing it in bite-sized chunks, as I say. Where I've got the crops closely planted in like that, I'm going to hand weed and prick them out. All of these ones. I've got the hoe as well. I've got a hoe, a garden hoe, which I am going to be using if I possibly can. But sometimes when there's not too many like that, you're as well just reaching in and plucking them out, which is what I'm going to be doing on most of these beds up here. On that side is where the hoe will come into its own, because there's a load in there, isn't there? So I'll be getting a hoe to that, a good sharp hoe, which is over there. That bright shiny exhibit. Anyway, I'm not going to get them up by talking, am I? Let's get cracking on. As I say, I'm going to start with this one. I'll get a photograph of it as a before and after. Hey, look a bit professional. Spot the weed, guys. See if you can find one that I've missed. What I've also done is I've took the opportunity to try and clean up the plants that are in there, the crops that are in there a little bit. I've just spotted one that I've missed, lurking under there. Look at that. Now with the ones that are the annual weeds, therefore they're not bindweed or horse's tail or flowering dandelion, stuff like that. I'm putting them in there and they're going to go into the compost. Once they're up and out, they'll soon die off, as Joe says, in the dark conditions. They'll rot off and turn into black gold eventually, turn into compost for us. So that's the one bed done. That's the first one that's in front of the tiki hut. Alright, now we're going to go for that one next. We'll do that one next. So as I'm working my way around, I'm tidying out and stacking the timbers into the wood, clearing out around them as well. Got to do a little bit more around here. I'm going to do the paths separately, but anything that's immediately around the bed, I'm clearing to a standard, you know. I'll be here all bloody week if I don't. So yeah, I'll crack on. Next bed is that one, which is the onion bed. That's the garlic bed. Garlic chard, and beets in that bed. So as I say, I've had a bit of a tidy around. Got rid of a lot of the manky leaf that was around the base of the chard, so that it can come on and it'll discourage the slugs a little bit. When the leaves start to rot, that's when the slugs get the nose for it, and they're all over it then. Anyway, I'm going to be sorting that bed out next. So that's 2 down and about 20 to go. So we're getting there, we're pecking away at it. We're about 45 minutes in though now. So we'll see how we get on, whether we can actually do the whole lot. It'd be great if I could get it all done, but might be a bit of a tall order, that. Crack on. So as we're weeding through, I've just cleared that, well, those 3 beds there, just up to where the Sarpo Mira bed is. Get rid of some of these labels. Now, all we need to do now is find a home for the useful weeds. What I've done is I've separated the sort of undesirable weeds, and in there we've got all sorts. Bindweed, horses' tails, the flowering dandelions, the dandelion leaf, and the sort of unseeded weeds. I've ripped them out, obviously, there. Now, if they're going to be secluded into a dark environment, we don't want him in there, do we? Slugs. Into a dark environment where light is excluded, they shall rot off. They'll die. We won't get any problems or issues with them. And it can be used then as organic matter for our compost. So I'm going to get a Dalek, like the one Mick's got there, and I'm going to put it back to back with that. But the issue that we've got here is mostly one of bindweed. All along this division between my plot and old Mac Darby's farm, we're plagued with it. You see the bindweed and also the horse's tail there. And I don't want that getting in to the Dalek. So I'm going to put some really thick spongy membrane on top of that. The worms will still find their way in, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we can exclude as best as we can the bindweed from getting into it. That should do the job more or less. I mean, it's quite thick. It's about 1 centimetre thick, and it's like yoga matting. You know, the sort of spongy mat that you do yoga on or exercises on. It's like that. I'm just going to get the door for it, get the door banged on. There is a little bit of a lip where it overhangs. That's all I've got left of it, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on that front piece just in case they try and sneak in there. But temporarily, I think that's going to do. It's going to do fine, isn't it? Maybe even long term. As soon as I stopped filming that last section, I realised that there was some spur on that side, and I thought, well, I'll just trim that up and slide it under, you know, which I have done. And now it is totally sat on the fingers crossed protective membrane of yoga mat. or whatever the hell it is. Not sure where he got it from. Young Michael got that. He got a big roll of it. And it's what we put underneath the top bed as a weed membrane up there. That new Victorian one that we made. But that should be okay. Right, I'm going to get the useful weeds that can compost into there now, and then I'll carry on with me weeding. Yeah, anyway, let's crack on, because I need to give a blank canvas to all of the sugar stealers, the dandelion seeds that are floating about. There's thousands of them in the atmosphere. See if you can see them. Yeah, see if you can spot them as we go. That was one then. Mother Nature likes to keep us busy, doesn't she, boys and girls? Right. Look, another one. If you can make it out. Don't know whether you can. But they're everywhere. Let's get into that now. Get that one weeded. And then that one. That one's not too bad. I weeded it last week. But that one wants doing as well. So we'll try our best to clear this section next. I'm going to see if I can salvage some of these sweet peas before I lose the flaming lot. They've got to go out, them, definitely. It might be a little bit too late, but we'll see. Now that's the spot that I've got earmarked for the peas. So I've just weeded that. There are the peas, looking yellow and sorry for themselves. Now that had a good dose of manure in it at the end of last year, September, October. The horse manure, and it's rotted down quite well in that bed. I'm going to put another one of those long trellises. I've got two of them, so I'm going to stand them side by side, well, on top of each other rather, and just zip tie them on to the posts that I put in. I wonder who invented the humble zip tie, you know. So useful. It's a useful bit of kit. And when you think about it, I know the plastic, but as a substitute for the screw, which I would imagine a screw takes quite a bit of energy to create. It's not too bad, is it? But yeah, there's the zip ties. Zip tied onto the post there, them trellises, the two trellises. I'm gonna get those in, the sweet peas. I'll select the ones that look like they're going to live, or have the potentiality to live. The rest of them are going to have to be trimmed off and discarded. But they're going to be given a fortnight. If they come back to health, then happy days. If not, we're going to have the climbing beans, the French climbing beans, because they'll be coming out and the beans will be going in. Time for a coffee, I think. It's like a real summer's day now. It's actually quite warm. 19 degrees outside. In those polytunnels, it's in the 30s, even with the doors open. So yeah, I'm tempted. In fact, I'm overly tempted, really. When we get to that bed over there, where is it? Yeah, over there. Behind Bradley's cage is the sweetcorn bed, and I'm going to get the sweetcorn out because it's not going to survive inside that tunnel, I'll tell you that. So either way, there's a chance I'm going to lose it, but I'd sooner give it the fighting chance of being outside. I've looked at the 10-day weather forecast. We're not due to have a frost. In fact, the lowest it's supposed to get 6 degrees of a night, so we're going to try it. Okay. Right then, let's get these two done. All right. A nice fertile bed there for all of these little flying swines. Yeah, stay tuned for next week when we'll have a glorious plot full of weeds. Yet again, thanks to the dandelions, the sugar stealer flying seeds of the dandelion. Right, so where are we up to then? We've done that, that, as best as we can, and that's been done. So I'll leave the brassica one just for now because I want to get some planting done. Speaking of planting, I'm going to get my sweetcorn in. That into there. Let's go. So that was prepped up and covered. Must be 6 weeks ago, I think now. There, certainly a good 4 weeks ago. So we covered it up with the compost bags, just to exclude the weed. These flying devils, the flying seeds, and see if we can sort of suppress those weeds. So let's see how that's worked. I haven't had a look as yet, so I'm just going to take the remainder of those timbers off and then whip the bags off. In fact, we'll do it in real time, shall we? Don't need to tease you, do I? Let's get these off. It was more or less fully covered. There's not very much that wasn't fully covered. So let's have a look underneath. Oh yeah, oh, there's a couple of tiny bits. This had all the amendments in and everything, didn't it? All the nitrogen went into this, because that's what we need for the sweetcorn. Plenty of that. Right, let's get these off. See what we're dealing with. So if you look at that, get out of my own my shadow there. That's not far off. That's centipede. Yeah, there's worms in it. Worms coming through. Yeah, it's nice underneath that. Nice and rich. I think we'll be alright in there. It's lovely and warm as well. Ants knocking about though, look at that. The ants. Empire of the ants. Look at them, all the little gates. I bet they've made a nest, oh God. That's not great, is it? They'll have made a nest in there, the swines. Right, I'm going to drown them. Right, well I've had a good route through there and I couldn't find a nest. I've sort of raked and dug it all over, disturbed the ants. I couldn't find the nest, as I say, but you never know. We'll see how we get on with it. It's going to get the sweetcorn in, whichever way the cat jumps. So let's go and get them. Well, they're in, and they're reasonably well spaced. They're supposed to be around 18 inches between each corn. I think in places it's about 12 inches, but yeah, 12 to 18 inches I'm guessing in there. So yeah, the 16 is about right. Loads of sugar stealers. Be full of weeds that next week. Breaks your heart, but they're in and they're staying in, and hopefully they'll be fine and dandy. Next, and I think last for today really, is going to be the brassica cage, because it's 2:30 now, and I forgot we've got a bit of a prior appointment. I've got to be somewhere for 4 o'clock, so let's get this sorted out. Wouldn't you know it, there's a thunderstorm coming in. It's just the sort of forefront of it now, but I managed to get some brassicas in. I've got the kale in, but the rest of the stuff, there's the kale, the rest of the stuff I'm going to have to leave in here overnight, because it's coming down now, that rain. Let's get this door shut. Big fat heavy droplets. Alright, tomorrow, weather good, external weeding and brassica planting. Weather bad, internal weeding and cucumber planting. Oh, and lettuce as well. And get some lettuce inside the polytunnel, that one across. Right, see you in a bit. Okay, so talk about 4 seasons in one day. Feel like crowded house today. It's been 4 seasons in one day. I'm expecting snow next. I think I've caught the sun. It's been really hot for about a couple of hours, 2 hours, and sunny. But now it's absolutely peeing down again. Anyway, if I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. I've been good in Murphinda. That's enough for today, I think. It's 4 o'clock anyway now, so I'll be heading on back to the homestead. Done about 4.5 hours altogether. A couple of stoppages for chats and what have you. A bit of a video with Joe there. But yeah, have a great week, boys and girls. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. I've been good in Murphinda. Keep growing with your heads down. Look after yourselves, and remember, we love you all. If you're a lady, you've been feminine, beautiful and elegant. If you're a gentleman, you've been forthright, masculine and virile. And if you've been something in between, you've been something in between. I'm Guru Murphinda signing out. Alright, catch you later, boys and girls. Bye bye now. Take care.